Good evening and welcome to Story Time with Uncle Sampire. Tonight we have a nuanced tale about the death of the gold standard and the birth of the petrodollar and its economic effect on the world. I call it the golden shift, from bullion to crude.
Once upon a time, in the late 1960s, many years after the creation of the Bretton Woods system of fixed exchange rates, cracks were beginning to appear in the foundation, as the demands of the modern economy strained the limits of the gold-backed currency. The United States was experiencing persistent trade deficits and inflation, leading to doubts about the sustainability of the gold standard. On August 15, 1971, in a nationally televised address, President Richard Nixon announced that the United States would no longer honor its commitment to exchange U.S. dollars for gold at a fixed rate. The announcement sent shockwaves through financial markets around the world. This decision had significant implications for the global monetary system. Gold prices soared, currencies fluctuated wildly, and central bankers scrambled to adjust to the new reality. For decades, the U.S. dollar had been pegged to gold, providing stability and confidence in the international monetary system. For the first time in history, the value of major currencies would be determined by market forces, rather than by the fixed exchange rates established under the Bretton Woods system. The era of the gold standard was over. In the days and weeks that followed, the consequences of Nixon's decision became increasingly apparent. The United States experienced a period of economic turbulence, as inflation soared and the value of the U.S. dollar declined. Other countries faced their own challenges, as they grappled with the implications of a world without the gold standard. In 1973, the dollar was sinking in value, coming down from its overvaluation. The United States sought to maintain the dominance of the U.S. dollar in international trade and finance. The U.S. National Security Advisor Henry Kissinger saw a way out of all this mess. With a single stroke, it was possible to return the U.S. dollar to its place at the center of the world monetary system. In July 1974, U.S. Treasury Secretary William Simon met with Saudi King Faisal in a secret meeting in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. King Faisal agreed to price all oil sales in U.S. dollars, giving birth to the petrodollar. In the agreement, oil-producing nations would price their oil exclusively in U.S. dollars, and in return, the United States would provide security guarantees and support for their regimes. It was a mutually beneficial arrangement, born of necessity and opportunism, that would profoundly alter the balance of power in the world. The U.S. dollar, already the dominant reserve currency, now became the undisputed king of the global economy. Oil transactions denominated in dollars flooded the markets, creating an insatiable demand for greenbacks and cementing the dollar's status as the world's primary reserve currency. For the United States, the petrodollar became a potent instrument of economic and geopolitical influence. With the value of the dollar tied to the price of oil, America wielded unprecedented power over the global economy, able to shape monetary policy, influence exchange rates, and impose economic sanctions at will. However, in the decades that followed, the rise of alternative energy sources, the emergence of new economic powers, and the shifting sands of geopolitics threatened to undermine its supremacy. The petrodollar is not immune to the winds of change. The end.
I hope you found this tale entertaining and informative. In closing, I will leave with a quote from the former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger. It may be dangerous to be America's enemy, but to be America's friend is fatal.